What is going on? I'm zmoT. We are going to get into the War Factory today for December the 12th. Hopefully we can do better than we did yesterday on the Dr. T of the imitation game. Just a heads up, I do not have instant training, so we're going to have to be very, very careful in how we do this because I don't want to spend a lot of diamonds, let me tell you. So back here we've got a microwaver, which is not doing anything. That's the best place to put a microwaver, have to say. Also, these flotsams on the right hand side are not anywhere near our kill zone, which is perfect. So on the downside, not a lot of use for Everspark here, almost zero. So what we're going to have to do is just try to clean up this kill zone. We're going to try and kill zone right about here, which means we're going to have to get rid of this side doom cannon, probably this side doom cannon, and then all sorts of stuff in here. So it's going to be one of those ones where we're going to have to be very, very careful. I'm going to do all sorts of GBEing first, I believe. Let's see how much health is on this. So 35,000 health on this 45,000 health on this left doom cannon. Probably can and should GBE that. Gonna need 1, 2, 3, 4 smokes to get rid of that doom cannon. Let's do, this is the problem, you can't retreat. If you retreat, you can't use your GBE. So we're gonna do a strange mixture of things. You know what, let's just get started and barrage some things to start with, because I think that's probably going to be the easiest way to do it. I'm going to load Everspark. Maybe towards the end we can get rid of a mortar or something along those lines, just to be on the safe side. This is going to be a work in progress, and then once we get work in progress, we're going to just make it up as we go along. I am tripping over my own words today like no other day. So we're going to barrage some things. We're going to artillery some things. No help from the tribes this week. The tribes are just awful, but thankfully they are not our Mega Crab tribe, so that's a little bit of a benefit. They can typically do about 50,000 damage using artillery and barrage. So we can manage to get rid of that doom cannon. Super, super helpful. And now I'm going to try to get rid of just a mortar. I mean, just drop an Everspark in here, nice and close to the beach. We're going to press the hack button and then flare that mortar. Hopefully we can get over in and remove one mortar. And for the cost of, what's that? That was like 11 GBE. We can get rid of a mortar. I probably should have flared this mortar because it's further away, just to try to get one more thing down. We haven't used any troops at this point. We've gotten rid of a mortar. We've gotten rid of a doom cannon. We're in pretty good shape. There is a couple free GBE at the front here. I could probably drop, you know what? Let's do that. I'm going to drop one boat of zookas down here just to test the waters. The waters, we're going to click retreat once. Always click retreat once. That way you're ready to run away as soon as you need to. We're going to drop an artillery and run. Not wasting any other GBE, not wasting any troops. HQ18, XP46, working with surgical precision. Next up, we're going to come back in here. We're going to get rid of this right-hand doom cannon and hopefully clear some of these mines, and then it's going to be a race to the finish. I don't really know how this is going to go, to be completely honest, because there's a lot of sniper towers there. Probably should have checked the health on the core. I think it's going to be fairly difficult to burn through that core with all zookas, with all of those sniper towers around. We'll find out. But worst case, if we diamond a couple rifles later on, I think we'll be in good shape. Now at this point, if you have instant training or you have the time and you're not doing it live on YouTube, by all means, drop your troops, clear some buildings, maybe go to the right hand side, get those shields. You only really need to shock that one shock launcher there. It'll help. I don't have that option, obviously. Maybe we can just drop Everspark over here, click the button, and hope that she actually gets rid of that shock launcher. We're going to find out very, very soon. Just need her to come unpaused. There we go. Getting rid of the shock launcher. That should free up these right-hand cells. And now typically I wouldn't have chosen the shock launcher, but I didn't have any GBE to do anything else. So as soon as that shock launcher is dead, we're going to retreat, hoping not to use this. Let's retreat. Leaving this GBE because it takes 15 cells. I mean, sorry, it's going to take 5 or 6 cells to get an artillery. Don't need to do that at all. Now that we've done that, let's have a look at the shield. Now, some of you are probably thinking this is a ridiculous strategy. I'm okay with that. We're trying to save as many troops as absolutely possible. So this shield has 2.4 million health, plus the health of the headquarters. So we're looking at somewhere close to 2.8, 2.9 million health from the core. So need to do some simplifying. Now, next up, these mortars. How many attacks do we have? We have 3 attacks. So I'm going to get rid of these mortars here just so that we can walk in here, get rid of all of this stuff. We could also get rid of the shock blaster. If we get rid of the side shock blaster, all of this turns into one shock. You can't shock this shock blaster and this shock blaster in the same shock. They're just one tile too far apart, I believe. Trying to do mental imagery. Yeah, I don't think, does not look like you can get all of these defenses. So we're going to come in here, get rid of a couple more buildings, and set ourselves up so we can come in and hopefully do some good stuff. Now, like I said, please, by all means, if you have the time or the troops, drop your troops, clear as much as you can. And I think, for example, on the right-hand side, if you have grenadiers, drop your grenadiers, get rid of those shields, and you should be in great shape. All it's going to do is make your core hits that much easier, take that much less time, and you should be good to go. We're going to get rid of you, Mr. Shock Blaster. Down goes Shock Blaster, and now it's just a matter of figuring out the best way to approach all of these buildings. So probably should get rid of some of these boom mines. I'll use a barrage for that later on. I'm going to drop Everspark right about here. Her critters should help get rid of some of those boom mines as well. And now it's just about marking. So don't really need to mark any of these buildings because realistically, all of the things are going to be marked anyways. Would really like it if I could somehow get one more of those mortars, but it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to drop this right in here. As you can see, I'm 4 GBE away from having one more artillery, so I'm going to drop one boat of zookas over here. We can farm actually probably enough to get a barrage, so I'm just going to sit here, click retreat once so that we're ready to leave when it's time to go. Our, what's that called? Our go bag is packed, and we're just going to clear all of these cells until we have 28 GBE, and then we'll click the barrage, then we'll click the retreat. Don't click retreat too soon, obviously, otherwise the rest of your rockets won't land, which is not super awesome. So doing fairly well. I'm pretty happy with this attack strategy so far, but obviously there's a lot of work left to be done. We're going to get rid of hopefully that laser, and now let's retreat while we still have some cells available. Everspark back on the boat, some boom mines gone. We've gotten rid of lots and lots of buildings. Probably should load some rifles right about now. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to come in from down here because that way we got a nice flat beach. Coming in from the corner is never ever a good idea. But we can actually get a couple cells maybe. We can barrage, artillery and get rid of that laser. So as long as we avoid the machine guns, we should be in a good place. So maybe I shouldn't actually go to that side. Just trying to do all of this live. I don't know if you guys have ever done live attacks or talked through live attacks or if you scout, but this is one of those ones where without instant training, we're going to have to be fairly perfect on this. So I'm going to actually load one boat of rifles. I'm going to bring that in at the back, and we're going to work our way towards the core and hopefully get all of this goodness down. Let's just do it live right here. Let's get rid of this laser. So one fewer lasers to deal with is always a good time. We're going to I'm going to come from this side. I know I said I was going to go from the other side, but machine guns. I'm going to get rid of this boom mine, using up a bunch of GBE that I wish I would have used a little bit earlier, but I'm okay with that for the most part. Now we just need to drop our troops in a nice orderly fashion, dropping our rifles first of all because rifles are going to get there a little bit faster, but there's going to be a few more of them. We're going to drop right into there, hopefully not getting zapped by that laser in the process. It's going to be very touch and go. I'm going to shock a little bit differently than what I had planned. We're going to shock like that. And hopefully we have not shocked Everspark. Looks like we did not. Getting more hacks out, clearing all of the things. And at this point, we're pretty much set. I'm going to actually back off into here quickly and getting away from all of those sniper towers. And the reason for that is I want to get all of this free GBE. And on top of that, I want to make sure that we have lots and lots of critters built up by the time we get anywhere near the headquarters. So, and yes, I called it a headquarters. I know it's not a headquarters, but we're going to get all of this GBE. And as you can see, Everspark keeps popping critters, which is a good thing. I don't think we've lost even a single troop yet. So pretty darn good on that front. And now we're going to come back to the right-hand side. Again, letting those critters get some free cells for us over there. But I don't want to get anywhere near those machine guns because we're going to have to deal with those at some point. And they're going to eat all of our critters. So hopefully our critters are still alive. Okay, so critters still doing well. We've got rifles out front. Now we're starting to get into the point where we're going to start losing our rifles. So I'm going to come slightly to the right, and we're going to shock all of the sniper towers. Okay, I'm feeling pretty confident about this. We're doing fairly well. It's just a matter of trying to balance our GBE usage at this point. Definitely want to keep all of the sniper towers shocked. We're going to lose nearly all of our riflemen right about now. And at this point, it all comes down to whether or not you want to retreat. I'm going to hold off for the moment. I don't think we need to retreat quite yet, but it's getting very, very close to that point. So let's retreat now. We've got probably enough troops to finish this off. We're going to have to wait and see. Again, I'm just trying to minimize troop loss, trying to minimize diamond loss, trying to make this as easy as possible for anyone who is following that doesn't have instant training. We're going to use 68 diamonds, a few more than I would have liked, but we're still in a good place. So Everspark, we've got a nice little hidey hole here. I'm going to send Everspark in advance and get rid of probably just the one sniper tower, and then we'll come back with the rest of our troops. I'm going to drop Everspark like this. I'm going to press the hack button, and we're going to flare that sniper tower right in there. Now, we are going to try and rescue Everspark. It is important that she comes with us for the rest of the attack, so I'm going to throw a smoke, get her underneath it. Just make sure when you're using Everspark, you push the button and then use the flare. Otherwise, she's going to go do something, and you're going to say Everspark's broken. What's wrong with Everspark? And 99.9% of the time, people complain about bugs in the game. It's just someone making a silly mistake. So if you ever have a problem where you think you've come across a bug in the game, please do record what you see. I'd be happy to have a look at it, let you know if there is a bug. I'll forward it along to the developers. And if there's not a bug, I'd be happy to show you how to improve your attacks. So we're going to walk right into here, trying to get... I know I said I was going to avoid those machine guns, but that's because we didn't have the GBE to deal with them before. Now that we do have 65 GBE, we should be able to just mow right through them. I'm going to throw our shocks a little bit on the early side just to be super safe. And I think we don't need to shock at all anymore, so let's back off, and that should finish off this war factory. So yes, there was quite a few steps involved in this, but overall not terribly difficult. The most difficult part was getting rid of all of those buildings down below the core, and as long as you have a decent amount of GBE and you've upgraded your barrage and artillery, you should be able to do that without much difficulty. So at this point on this hit, we have still lost 0 troops. Those critters are standing out front, no lasers to be activated, so just chewing through all of the shield. 2.8 million health in total, so it's going to take a bit of time. We're going to lose a couple rifles, probably. I might have wanted to get rid of the rifles and just use all zookas for this. Let me know how you managed to take this down. You can also go to the right-hand side. We're going to use Gramps on my high-level account in about 45 seconds, so stick around for that. And then we'll quickly show you the stats on this account before we move over to a main level account. Melting through all of the things, smoking the HQ, down goes War Factory. So definitely a lot of moving parts in that attack, but I really do think that basically anyone who is following this channel who has Everspark and some GBE and some decent statues can take that down. Anyways, let's move over to my other account, quickly showing you the stats on the troops here underneath the attacks. Look at that list of failed attacks. So we've got level 12 riflemen, level 18 zookas, some GBE, some troop damage. Let's quickly switch over. I'll be back in just a moment. I think that's the fastest switchover ever. So now that we're into here, we've got the zmoT account, we've got Gramps and Grenadiers loaded. I'm not quite sure why that's the case. Let's have a look at what we've got going on here. I'm just going to send, we're just going to send it. I mean, this is going to be, I've got instant training on this account, so we're going to do things slightly different, and we're just going to see how it goes. I'm going to get Bullet so he has energy drink instead of taunt. Taunt would not be super useful. And let's just get into it. Probably I'm going to barrage this because we have max level artillery and barrage, so it's not going to cost us a ton of GBE. Let's get rid of that Doom Cannon, and then we can drop all of our troops up in here. We're going to drop all of the rest of things over in here. Bullet's just going to distract that shock launcher for a moment, and now we're just going to farm all sorts of GBE. Bullet's not taking a ton of damage at all, so not a lot of concerns there. Grenadiers and Bombardiers just going ham, I think, is probably the best way to describe this. We're going to save as much GBE as we possibly can, because these hot pots are going to be a problem for sure. So now that we've got all sorts of stuff, I'm going to drop a critter pack in there just to get those hot pots to all pop up. Not quite sure. Oh, maybe I guess the critters were all dead, so that didn't work out quite as well as I would have liked. But so far, so good. A little bit more fun here for certain. I find that using max level accounts, you can usually have a lot more fun with them just because War Factory is that much easier. You can actually activate hot pots using your using critters, for example, and we're just going to walk through all of this stuff. I don't think we've lost any troops at this point, so having a bit of fun at the expense of War Factory for sure. Let's drop some critters back here. We're about to lose all sorts of troops. Those Bombardiers you just saw get melted are level 1, so as they got melted, we definitely should have upgraded them at some point. But as you can see, back in here, we've got our critters that are going to actually finish off that shock launcher for us. I think we're almost finished with our troops. Mr. Bullet died a long time ago, so at this point, I mean, we've cleared this entire right-hand side, and all thanks to Bombardiers and Grenadiers. Now, why I like to use Bombardiers with Grenadiers is just because your Grenadiers miss. I really do enjoy the fact that the Grenadiers miss. I think the Grenadiers are a more fun and interesting troop than Bombardiers. Not to say that they're more useful, or they're just different. So mixing the two of them, you end up getting the drunken Grenadiers missing all the time, and you get your Bombardiers that are pinpoint accurate. This War Factory, we could probably do save the core at this point, but I'm not gonna do that quite yet. Should we come in from... Let's go around the backside. I don't really want to deal with lasers all that much. Lasers and Bullet. You can do some very interesting things. Getting the lasers to lock on Bullet. What the heck? What's over here? Clearly I touched the side of my screen and dropped something over there. Not really sure if it was... What was it? It was a boat of Bombardiers. So we are now down to 7 boats, just like our HQ18 account. Putting Grenadiers into tight spaces doesn't typically go very well, but I think we should be okay here. We're going to need to shock some sniper towers. Sniper towers shoot fairly quickly, so you got to be a little bit careful with them and Bullet. Obviously, his damage reduction is all about reducing per shot, so once you get all sorts of shots happening, shots. I need to get a soundboard for certain. Anyways, let's keep rocking through here. Just absolutely pummeling all the things that Gearhart has put up for us. So if you are using max level troops, by the way, the reason why I used Bombardiers this time was because I got a little bit of grief from, I think it was, I can't remember who it was, maybe Glyphos, saying, what the heck are you doing? Why no Gramps? So if you have a troop combo you'd like me to use, please do let me know. and we will do our best to get that troop combo loaded. So as you can see here, the lasers are locked right onto Bullet, shooting through, and they're not going to be hitting anything soon, so we just need to shock this sniper tower over here so that our bombardiers can move up a little bit, and we're just going to crush this base. So get the lasers locked on Bullet, maybe shock him, and then move out of the way, and you'll be in good shape. Or just don't shock him. As long as you get... One thing to be aware of with lasers is they lock onto their target. It doesn't matter if something comes closer, they will stay locked on that until that target is dead. That's how the cooker core hit works, for example. So don't shock the lasers, just let them lock onto Bullet, and everything else will just go away nice and quickly. Bombardiers doing some work, Bullet doing some work, and the beauty, look at this, these shock blasters are not seeing Bullet, so Bullet can stand there almost indefinitely. So I would have assumed those shock blasters would have keyed in on Bullet, but obviously we've got just enough range where we can take this down with 2 easy unboosted hits from Bullet and Grenadiers and level 1 Bombardiers. So let me know if you're planning on using Bombardiers, planning on using Grenadiers. I think it's a good strategy. It's just a matter of keeping Bullet alive and keep those angles. So maybe approach somewhere from over in here. I came up high and lost some troops to those boom cannons, but overall, that's War Factory for December the 12th. I probably won't be publishing a video tomorrow. Going on a big group mountain bike ride. Super stoked. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm zmoT. As always, if you saw something you liked, make sure you give me a hard time in the comments. If you saw something you didn't like, also make sure you heckle me. Otherwise, click the bell, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm zmoT. Peace!